Hello guys, today I'll be doing a subclass tier list, and yeah, the context is for 9 challenge, and I think I should talk about how I like think of rating this. Um, Subclasses are good if it gives you a power spike, like um, for example, let's say rogue to assassin. This is just a little spoiler. Rogue to assassin. Rogue is really great, but turning into assassin is like it's not really doing much for you. In that case, it's rated lower. But for example, like let's say Gladiator is just about as strong as assassin, but as warrior, warrior gets a bigger power spike from being gladiator. Gladiator would rank higher than, let's say, assassin. So it's more like relative to before you get mask, before you get Tengu mask versus when you pick a subclass. So just to clarify that. So anyway, let's get to it then. So first we'll be talking about Berserker. There's not really much to say about Berserker. All I can say is it's basically nothing. Like you're not really getting any talents other than the first two talents, Holdfast and Strongman, which to be fair are good. But on 9 challenge, it's like these talents aren't doing enough. And you're basically warrior plus. Like Holdfast is like good. Holdfast is Shield of Light, but it costs a turn. So it's like, yeah, it's just so bad. And the problem with Berserker is you'll never get to 100% rage. So like, Deathless Fury, for example, it's completely useless unless you have a very specific niche build. And Rage Catalyst, I mean, realistically you're gonna be at 20 rage. So it's not even doing that much either. And then Endless Rage, it increases max rage, which is completely useless because you're never going to get to 100% anyway. So like all of these talents are just basically useless. So all you're left with is to max Holdfast and Strongman. And yeah, it's just, I don't know what else to say. It's so bad. It's so useless. All the Berserker wins I had is just basically the same build as my Gladiator builds, except weaker because I don't have combo, and it's just completely bad. Like it's basically nothing. So yeah, it's gonna do it for Berserker. So next let's move on to Gladiator. Gladiator is pretty good. So there's something I'm going to be talking about when I'm talking about throughout all these subclasses, and that is, does the mask give you a power spike without needing talent points? And Gladiator does not give you a power spike. Like when you pick Gladiator, you're not actually stronger than you were before. Because realistically, you're not, unless you have a Sai or something, realistically, you're not gonna get much combos. I guess Clobber is something that's realistic to do, but at level 12, you're really not getting that much power compared to some of these other ones. Combo is, okay, yeah. Let's talk about combo. Combo is really nice. because it's like when you slam or when you crush or when you fury, it's all 100% hit. There's no like, it's all guaranteed to hit. And when you level up lethal defense enough, you'll actually sort of lifesteal. It's a sort of a lifesteal because at least that's how I think about it. Because when you finish off enemies, you get your steel shielding back up, right? So you're basically like, it's, let's say you're at plate armor and you lasted an enemy, you're basically healing back 15 HP because yeah, like you're healing back 15 HP basically because you get back your shielding. So that actually allows you to tank quite a bit in the late game. And something I also like about the Gladiator is the cleave. That makes the combo last longer when you last hit with the physical attack. What I usually like to do in DK, for example, is if I have a whip, I would use a golem somewhere to build combo. Like maybe 20 plus combo. And then when I enter the boss fight, I can just switch to my real melee weapon and just Fury DK and completely skip the first phase. It's really great. And yeah, it's just like all of these are good. Like Clobber, like knockback 2 tiles is pretty good, and then the upgraded version gives it vertigo to combo with where's that talent? This talent here, you basically invincible for 1 full turn. So it's kind of like Iron Stomach but free. And I guess the +3 on this is not really that. It's not really that useful until Scorpio. Like when Scorpios appear, because you're not really. I wouldn't say you're really chasing anything for the most part, but it's still nice to have. So for that reason, I'll put it in B tier. I think it's fair. Like Warrior is weak, Gladiator makes it a lot more like manageable. So I'll put it at B. Okay, and now let's get to Battlemage. I actually I'd like to give a preface. I don't play mage that much anymore, so I know there's been changes to Battlemage. I haven't tried a lot of them. I've tried Blast Wave. I've tried Fire Blast. I haven't tried the other ones. So I'd just like to preface that. Battlemage is okay. I wouldn't say it's like... Okay, so Battlemage... The special effects on his staff melee depends on what is imbued in his staff. And at least from what I heard about mage players, the only thing that's worth it is the disintegration, where if you shoot disintegration, you have like an extended range to your staff. So you can disintegration, hit staff with like melee, and then you can just repeat the same thing. You want to level up a power strike though for that kind of build, so that you get more range and more power. I think there's some notable ones too. I think Frost one is also pretty good, at least from what I've tried. If the enemy is frosted, your staff has a chance to freeze targets. I don't know how good that really is though. So yeah, take what I say here with a grain of salt, because other than disintegration, all of the rest all of the rest of the imbues are weaker than Warlock. So there's no reason to really go Battlemage for the most part. I think Priz Light is also great. It blinds, so Priz Light blinds, and then the staff imbue hit cripples. That's a pretty good combo against like a ranged enemy, for example. You blind the enemy, you cripple them, and then you can like just kite them repeatedly. So it's quite nice. I don't think the new imbues are all that great. At least the ones I've tried. So yeah. In terms of power level, I don't think it actually does that much. It's like, yes, you can focus your staff, and you basically get your melee damage gets compensated by the Battlemage effects. But I don't really think it's doing that much considering how strong Mage already is. I guess it's like it's either C or B. I think let's just put it in C for now. Okay. I might just be like comparing Warlock to this and seeing that how bad Battlemage is, so I might put this in B later. For now it's in C. Speaking of Warlock, let's get to Warlock. Warlock is amazing. I think it's like one of the best subclasses in the game. Even with how strong Mage is already, Warlock gives him a really big power boost. You can soul mark enemies and then any physical attacks lifesteal. Including throwing weapons, by the way. So it's just really good. Like, and the great part about this is you don't even need talent points. You don't even need talent points to make this subclass good. So if you go from Mage to Warlock at level 12, you already have a big power spike. It's really great. You basically have infinite sustain, because you can always, backtrack, to just lifesteal enemies. So let's say you have like a regrowth, you can regrowth, and then just use a whip or something to heal back your HP. And also in I don't know if this is true, but in the Crystal Spire quest for the blacksmith, you can actually use the Guardians to heal yourself back up to full HP and full hunger with Soul Eater. And yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what else to say. Like, how lifesteal sustain is really OP in this game. Yeah, it goes in S tier, I think, in my opinion. I think there are some other talents that are cool, I guess, like Necromancer's allies or Necromancer's minions, and then you can use the ally warp to like swap places with your wraith, but I'm not really a fan of that because the wraiths actually wake up stuff, like wake up sleeping enemies, and that's kind of annoying. But that's just me though. I don't know how other people think about this, how other top Warlock players think about this. But the main appeal of Warlock is really the lifesteal. Okay, we talked about Assassin a while ago. I'm just gonna say it's in C tier since I already spoiled it. So I want to explain why I don't think this subclass is good, because a lot of top players that I talk to in Discord really like the Assassin for some reason. And the reason being, it gives output. Like you can assassinate stuff at like let's say you have a giant champion, and you really need to kill it. You can just use 3 charges on your cloak and just straight up kill it. Another positive thing is the bounty hunter. It gives you extra drop chance when you assassinate someone, or when you kill something using preparation, which is kind of different from assassinate. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So basically, like, innately increases your drop rates because you're naturally gonna assassinate stuff anyway. So a reason why it's only in C tier. First of all, you're basically tying your cloak to you're tying your cloak to like how do you say this? Different roles. Like for example, for Hourglass, right? All Hourglass is doing is repositions you. And before you turn it to Assassin, that's all it really is. It's like Cloak is just a repositioning tool, plus a little bit of like defense from the what's that called? The protective shadows. So like it's really nice. You cloak to reposition, and then you range attack, and then you have shielding up and stuff like that. As Assassin, it's like you're kind of, to make use of the Assassin subclass, you're basically not only turning your cloak into a repositioning tool or like an overall defensive tool, you're turning it into an offensive tool. So to make use of Assassin, you're using your cloak charges for like offense. So the consequence of this is you're basically using your cloak charge more than you would otherwise before, and that results in you not having a lot of charges, because you're using it like if you want to make use of Bounty Hunter, for example, and you don't really need the cloak to kill the enemy. It's like, okay, you're just not making use of the Assassin subclass, right? So it's kind of like you're making cloak more versatile, but in that sense, it's like eating up your cloak charges, and I just think that's bad. Additionally, when you turn it to Assassin, you are not getting a big power spike. The power spike you're getting realistically is the 20% bonus damage for one cloak charge for a single attack. That's not good at all for a single attack. And yes, you have enhanced lethality, but you have 0 talent points yet. So the assassinate is very unreliable. Like you want to max enhance lethality first before the assassinate is even effective. And it also has some useless talents. Assassin's Reach is completely useless. Bounty Hunter is okay, I guess. And then for Assassin, Light Cloak particularly is just bad because of what I mentioned. Like you're using your cloak for offense as well, and just having a slow recharge is just terrible for you. I think a realistic time to pick Assassin over Freerunner, let's say, is you have like a tier you have like a tier 5 weapon or an assassin's blade, and you have like a good way to recharge your cloak, like for example Ring of Energy, or I guess something like Unstable Spellbook with the mystical energy on it, or Horn of Plenty. Those are the situations where you might pick Assassin, but I think for most of the time it's just not doing a lot. It's like okay. And yeah, the power difference between Assassin and Rogue, in my opinion, is just not, it's just not great. Like I think it's in the same level as Battlemage, maybe weaker. But it's not useless like Berserker is, so I think it's fair to put it in C tier. Okay, Freerunner. I think Freerunner is amazing. With the new thrown weapon changes, Freerunner is really great. You basically get on-demand, like temporary haste string. It's not only temporary haste string; it's temporary like maybe +2 or +1, somewhere in between. +1 or +2 haste string, really great. It improves like speedy stealth, for example. It improves the stealth itself. And so as Freerunner, you basically have double the cloak charges because you're moving twice the speed, which means you can reposition yourself twice as far, if that makes sense, for a single charge. So you're effectively doubling your cloak charges if you're using it to reposition. Another great thing is projectile momentum. Now this has been nerfed. Yes, it's been nerfed. It used to be 45% up +3, which is insane, but now it's 30%, which is still really good. And it was compensated, the nerf, the accuracy was compensated instead. So instead of like, forgot, 60 accuracy, it's like 60% accuracy, it's like 150% accuracy now. So it's a huge amount of accuracy. And yeah, in my opinion, the optimal build for Freerunner is just to find a tier 4 or 5 thrown weapon, and you just dump that. And it's really easy to, like, it's reliable damage because of projectile momentum being like, it just gives you so much damage, or not so much damage, but it's like good damage compared to like Assassin, right? Assassin gives you 20% bonus damage for 1 cloak charge, and then projectile momentum, you don't even need the cloak charge, you just need to be free running and you get 30% bonus damage plus accuracy. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like Freerunner is just outclassing Assassin for the most part. And on Freerunner, it's actually like, I think it's actually reasonable to take Light Cloak because as I said, you're getting double effectiveness of your stealth, of your cloak, since you move at twice the speed. And as Freerunner, you get an extra resource, which is free running. So it's like, okay, I don't have cloak charges, but I can just reposition with free running. So, like, I think it's okay to take Light Cloak on this subclass, but I personally don't like to. Just really great. I know I hear people saying, oh, Wand Runner is really great, but I disagree. I think the only Wand Runner that's good is corrosion wand, but like let's be honest here, what's not good with corrosion? And so like yeah, it's like you can be assassin and pick corrosion and you'd have the same results. Like it's not really exclusive to rogue or exclusive to freerunner. But anyway, just really great. It's reliable to get good thrown weapons. You can use the smith from the blacksmith and it's guaranteed to give you like, I think it's like tier 3 to tier 5 thrown weapon, somewhere there. And it's 30%, it's only 30% plus 0. So the other 70% is either +1 or +2 or +3 even. So it's a pretty decent deal if you don't have any thrown weapons yet. And what else? I think with the thrown weapon changes, the damage is a lot more reliable now. In the past, when I was playing Freerunner before the thrown weapon update, I had to dump a single thrown weapon, and I just had to hope, or I didn't even have to hope. I knew for sure that the thrown weapon is one-shotting if I have projectile momentum at +3 and I'm free running. So I can just, it used to be like I free run, I hit my weapon, and if there's another enemy, I stealth, retrieve my weapon, hit the weapon again, or throw the weapon again, hit another enemy, and then just repeat that process. But now it's you have to, like, realistically you have like a single dumped throwy set, and you can just keep throwing. Basically, you can just keep throwing your weapon, and then that's just a lot of damage. Additionally, you can like yeah. But anyway, just really great. Freerunner is really great. I don't think it's an S tier, but it's great. So I would put it in A tier. Okay, sniper. I just like the preface. I do not like Huntress, but I have tried these subclasses, so I do know what I'm talking about here. And I've talked to a lot of sniper or huntress players. So I kind of know what's good, what's not. So for Huntress, let's see here, Huntress. So Sniper is nice because it basically increases, like right off the gate, before you even upgrade any talents. Right off the gate, you basically increase your thrown weapon damage because you can do you can throw the weapon and then snapshot. So that's basically free damage because snapshot is instant. It's instant speed. But I heard right now the meta is to just damage augment as soon as possible. So you can like, you have a stack of throwies, you throw enough times such that your sniper special will kill the enemy, and then you just sniper special. And the sniper shot with the damage augment is guaranteed to hit. So you don't even need to worry about accuracy. You just throw sniper shot and it kills. So that's like one really great thing about sniper. Like you greatly increase your damage output for your range attacks, and that's really good. The second thing about this is Farsight. Farsight is a great. increased vision by 75% at +3. And at +3, you're basically killing enemies without them even seeing you. That's insane. You're basically not even interacting with the enemy as long as they're far enough. So, Farsight, what this basically does is it kills a fraction of every single enemy in the entire. This is what it effectively does because you're seeing them. It's almost like silent steps. This is almost like silent steps, but in a different sense that you're spotting them before they can spot you, and you're killing them before they are able to retaliate. So it's really great. And then shared upgrades, obviously, it's just increased damage output. So it's just really great. The weakness to Sniper, I guess you could say, is the lack of defense. Huntress already doesn't have any defensive capabilities other than what is that called? The meal talent that gives you haste, or just mitigation like the mind vision talent. Sniper doesn't give you any defensive talents, but it gives you even more mitigation with Farsight. And overall, it's just really good. I think it's a glass cannon, though. I think I've discussed this with Rivlin, for example. Like Rivlin likes Talisman a lot, and I disagree with him. But when I play Huntress, particularly Huntress, I do notice that Talisman is doing a lot. Because Huntress particularly doesn't have any damage reduction, and just getting like free damage on yourself is really bad. So yeah. So let's just recap here. Big power spike, or like a noticeable amount of power spike when you first become a Sniper as a level 12. As you level up, you get almost like a silent steps, but you know, kind of different, a little bit worse. And then yeah, just get more damage output, like even more damage output as you level up, and it's really great. I think it's an A tier. I don't think it's as good as Freerunner, but it's like a similar. I think it's kind of a similar playstyle, but it's more punishing to play Sniper than it is for Freerunner. Yeah, it's really great. All right. Next, let's talk about Warden. So Warden is a little sad because on 9 challenge you can't really plant seeds, which means half of the passive ability of Warden just gets deleted. So Warden can see through grass, and her plants have a special effect when she tramples when it gets trampled. But plants don't exist in 9 challenge, so that just completely gets deleted. Even looking at her talents, shielding Dew, completely useless. Even with Barrenland off, it's still useless, which is sad. But Dew doesn't exist at all. Bark Skin is quite good if you have like a regrowth mod, which is not always true. Because if you don't have a regrowth wand, you're forced to, like, if you want to make use of it, you'd have to go to like plants, and that's not always, like, you can't always do that, especially in Metro where more than half of the ground is carpet. So it's quite bad in that zone, that region. I would say though durable tips is quite good. That means you can use your darts a lot more times. There's actually a build for Warden, which is prismatic image, transfusion, and like you can use the bark. You can use the bark skin to increase the defense of your prismatic image. If the prismatic image dies, you can just transfusion it. I haven't really tried this for myself, but I've heard that it's an acceptable way to play this subclass at least. So that tells me at least it's not completely useless like Berserker. But the fact that it doesn't give you damage output, where damage output is so important in the mid to late game, makes it just a like kind of lacking subclass. Like, it's not really doing enough. So I think it just deserves to be in C tier. It's not doing enough. Okay. So now let's go to the Duelist subclasses, and let's first talk about Champion. Champion, actually at first I didn't like Champion. I was basically thinking, okay, extra 50% ability recharge and more max weapon ability recharge, and then it's just like whatever. Twin upgrades is nice, I guess, but it's actually quite strong. Like, Champion is actually quite strong. I think the first talent that we should talk about is Deadly Follow-Up. Now, this is a talent that's available for Monk as well, but I think Champion uses this talent a bit better. It just uses it better because I've heard that Monk Dragon Kick, for example, it doesn't actually it doesn't get the bonus damage from Deadly Follow-Up, and as Monk you're usually going wands. So anyway, let's talk about Deadly Follow-Up. You throw a weapon and then they temporarily take 30% more melee damage for 5 turns. That's insane. Now, if you compare it to Assassin, you need to use 1 cloak charge. You need to use 1 cloak charge to get a 20% bonus damage on a single hit. Deadly Follow-Up, you just need to throw a weapon and then you get a 30% melee damage boost. Like, this is just like so much better. Just this one talent. And then let's talk about twin upgrades. Yeah, twin upgrades is like, it's quite nice. If you have a tier 5 and you're dumping that tier 5, your lower tier weapons like your dirks and your round shields get upgraded, so they are more effective. Their talents, their weapon abilities are more effective. Like, so that's just nice. As you upgrade your primary weapon, you are basically also upgrading your secondary weapon, and all you need is a +1 on this if you have a tier 5 talent. And that's what I usually do. I like to use a tier 5, but a tier 4 is fine too.
Another thing to talk about is combined lethality. So at +3, you can execute any non-boss enemies when they are below 48% HP. Now let's talk about this execution thing, and this also applies to Assassin. Let's say the opponent is at 60% HP, or let's just say it's at 100 HP. Right? It's at 100 HP, and your attack brings it down to 40% HP. With combined lethality like ready to go, it actually executes that enemy. If it's like below 40%, like if the enemy's at 60%, you can bring it down to below 40%, it executes the enemy. Now, how do you actually use this combined lethality? Because like it's kind of awkward, right? You need to use an ability from a different weapon, and then you need to melee attack with the weapon you want to kill with. It's a bit awkward. You can use Dirk, for example. You can teleport and then attack. It's almost like that's better Cloak, right? Because you're executing this at 40% for a single weapon charge, and then Cloak is like a single weapon charge and it's 20%. The threshold is at 20%. You can also do something like there's some instant use weapon abilities like the Scimitar Sword Stance or the Quarterstaff Defensive Stance. You can do something like hide behind the door, wait for the enemy, and once the enemy goes through the door, you can instantly use the weapon ability and then surprise attack to like reliably kill enemies. So it's just really nice. How much power spike are you getting before you get even any talent points at level 12? It's actually quite good since you get better weapon ability recharge, and yeah, it's decent. It's passively helping you. And the dual wield ability is it's okay. So it's just a pretty solid subclass. It's not too OP, and considering that I think Duelist sucks before she gets her subclass, I think it's definitely better than Assassin. I think it is better than Gladiator. I think it like from Duelist to Champion is a bigger power difference than Warrior to Gladiator, in my opinion. So I would put this at B over here in the spot. Alright, now let's talk about Monk. Now, I know like newer players are pretty uncomfortable with Monk because with FEMA on or with FEMA off, armor is just really good, and having low tier armor is, I think it's just not acceptable in lower challenges. But on 9 challenge, it is like not really that big of a deal to have lower tier armor, considering how much like the perks of wearing lower tier equipment. Monastic Vigor, or not Monastic Vigor, Unencumbered Spirit. Like let's just talk about Unencumbered Spirit. Normally, when you kill enemies, you get 1 energy. You have 1 energy per kill, typically. Some enemies give less, like Wraiths, I think, give half. Or, what's that called? Ripper Demons also give half. Bosses give more than 1, but in general, it's giving you 1 energy. That's the baseline. At +3 unencumbered spirit, the monk gains 100% more energy for each piece of tier 1 or lower equipment. At +3. So if you're using the cloth armor and studded gloves, you're getting 3 energy per kill. Now, to give you a little bit of context, Dragon Kick is 4 energy. So if you're killing the enemy with Dragon Kick, that's effectively just 1 energy cost for a Dragon Kick. And if you've tried Dragon Kick, it's insane. It's really strong for no investment, by the way. You're not even using any upgrade scrolls to make the Dragon Kick good. It's just good. And I would say Monk is weak once from Duelist to Monk. There is not much of a power difference, but you can farm energy, and this subclass has infinite sustain with what's that called? Meditate. Meditate gives you infinite sustain as long as you can regen energy. Basically, you want to take monastic vigor for your first talent points and go to unencumbered spirit for the rest. So why is meditate really good? It basically does everything. You heal, you also get like damage reduction while you're meditating. You get wand recharging, which means, dude, this meditate makes you able to spam wands even better than Battlemage, or even better than like the mage subclasses. It's insane. And it's not just wands, you're also recharging artifacts. So stuff that would normally be bad, like the nature boots, which recharges really slowly, become insanely broken because you can just spam it. It's insane. Like you're getting 8 turns of artifact recharge per meditate. With max unencumbered spirit, that's only 2 kills to do a meditate. So like meditate heals 20% of your missing HP with monastic vigor. That's insane. There's just no words to describe this. Just try it yourself and you'll understand. And yeah, I think that's what's in the nest here. Like, sustain is just really good. Alright. Now let's get to the Cleric subclasses. I've tried both of these subclasses, so I think I know what I'm talking about. I prefer the Priest one better. I've talked to I think most people like the Paladin, but it might be biased from because Priest used to be the weaker subclass, but now it's like a toss-up. I don't know which one is stronger right now. But okay, let's talk about Priest. So Cleric is kind of interesting because a lot of clerics tier, like lower tier spells, just kind of get replaced. Like for example, you're not using Bless, right? I guess that's not really true. You're not using Bless, but you're using Divine Sense, you're using Sunray, you're using... Okay, maybe that's not true. But, okay. So for Priest, the gimmick of Priest is they illuminate. So if you remember, Guiding Light is a tier 1 spell that illuminates enemies, and then you can proc the Illuminate to do a sure hit, a guaranteed hit. Priest basically improves on that, providing Guiding Light for free once every 50 turns, and all the spells that interact with enemies in any way illuminate them. Additionally, the Illuminate debuff now works on wands and some artifacts and allies, so they can proc the Illuminate debuff, and when it's proc this way, you get bonus damage equal to the level of your hero plus 5. So at level 12, you're getting a 17 bonus damage from the Illuminate. And what's great about this is you have sources of instant speed spells, which can illuminate targets. Take the tier 1 spell, for example, Shield of Light. Shield of Light targets an enemy at instant speed, and you get armor for it against that particular enemy. And targeting the enemy actually illuminates them. So you have instant speed, 17 damage at level 12. 17 damage. That's a really big number for level 12. It's insane. If you have like let's just take the standard disintegration wand from Wand Maker, and you go priest, you're one-shotting, you're one-turning bats, just doing Shield of Light and then zap with the disintegration. It's insane. So the power spike you get from level 12 Cleric to level 12 Priest, huge. It's really huge. And it also get access to Radiance, which is really great. Radiance is insane. It's an omnidirectional mini Shockwave. Shockwave being the warrior armor ability, with no investment, no talent point investment. AoE is basically AoE damage because you're inflicting the debuff on them. AoE stun for 3 turns. It's basically a repositioning tool. The only bad thing is it costs 2 charges, which is like, it's worth it. It's AoE, it stuns, it does everything basically. If you're in trouble, you Radiance and reposition. And then it also, like, if there's multiple enemies too, you can Radiance, like, do more damage. Fuck that. So yeah, damage output is really good right off the gate. There's also Mnemonic Prayer. Let's just talk about some of the spells. Mnemonic Prayer. It's instant speed, so it's another source of instant speed. Illuminate, but I prefer using Shield of Light most of the time. And it basically extends the debuffs on an enemy or buffs on an ally. So I think this doesn't you can't infinitely extend the debuffs or buffs, but if you have something like Wild Magic, for example. Oh no, not Wild Magic, Wild Energy. Wild Energy gives you Artifact Recharge and Wand Recharge. You can extend both of those with Mnemonic Prayer. It's quite good. Or if you had like if you had something like a Corrosion Wand or a Fire Blast Wand, you can extend the Corrosion or Burning debuffs on enemy. Me personally, I don't like this spell until I get Wild Magic or Wild Energy. And I just use this to extend Wild Energy. So yeah. Another good thing about this is it extends Aggression Stones. So for example, you're fighting DK and you throw an aggression stone, you can extend that for 5 extra turns. So you're basically saving up on an aggression stone when you do that, as opposed to something like using Recall Inscription. Recall Inscription, it's 2 costs for a runestone. So you're saving up on 1 extra charge at instant speed too. So it's instant speed and it's only one cost. So you're halving the cost of like Recall Inscription. So yeah, it's Mnemonic Prayer, pretty versatile, pretty decent spell overall. Hallowed Ground, it's quite good too. You can like this is also like I think this Hallowed Ground kind of competes with Illuminate, but I still like to take this because it's pretty versatile. You get shielding, which Illuminate doesn't provide, and it provides crippling, so you can kite multiple enemies with just Hallowed Ground. So it's kind of the reason why it's not the sole reason, but I like to go melee on Priest, because upgrading your wand doesn't really increase the bonus damage of your Guiding Light or like the Illuminate debuff. So I like to focus on a melee weapon. And yeah. And I guess let's talk about Holy Lance. I think this spell sucks. 4 charges for that much damage is just not enough. It's just not enough when you have instant 17 damage for 1 cost. I don't know. I don't know how to justify taking this talent. And I haven't thought of a way to even nerf this by giving it 30 turn cooldown, which is ridiculous. Because like you're already using 4 charges, like you're not spamming this thing. So yeah, I just never take Holy Lance, but yeah, I can never find a situation where I should use Holy Lance over just using Shield of Light and zapping with the wand. So yeah, I don't think it's worth it. So yeah, you get versatility, you get a huge power spike once you hit 12, or once you get the mask. Just versatile, you can do like Divine Sense plus Illuminate. It stuns everything that you see. It's great. It's just a lot of damage with wands. And you can just finish them off with melee. At least that's how I play. I believe some people also like to wand dump, but I'm not a fan of wand dumping because you eventually run out of steam if you rely solely on wands. Alright, let's talk now about Lay on Hand. Paladin. Yeah, Paladin is also really good. I don't think the power spike is as good as Priest's power spike, but it's still pretty like it's a decent power spike. You get Smite, which is okay. Depends on what enchants you have on your weapon. The problem is it's too cost to Smite, so I'm not really a fan of Smite. What this talent really excels at is using Lay on Hands at instant speed at 1 cost, which gives you 25 shielding at instant speed, which you can keep casting it until 75 at +3. You can have 75 shielding at 3 charge, which is insane. Like the stuff I said about Priest, like, oh, it has so many tools to deal with so many different situations. You have like Mnemonic Prayer to like increase your buffs, or increase duration of your buffs. Paladin's like, nah, I have a single hammer for every single, a single tool for every single nail. Like, I'm just using this one tool, Lay on Hands, 25 shielding, 1 charge, instant speed. Yeah. Lay on Hands is broken. Is there anything else worth talking about in Paladin? I mean, not really. Shield of Wall of Light, 3 cost. Garbage. The fact that it's 3 costs and the ability is already niche makes it, I don't know. When I played Paladin, I never really saw any use of this. So if anyone finds a use of this, just let me know, because there has to be some niche to this. I don't know. Like, yeah, you can trap enemies with Wall of Light, but like, why not just kill the enemy? Like, and use Lay on Hands. Like, just Lay on Hands and just kill the enemy. Why are you trapping enemies? That makes no sense. And then the other one, Aura Protection, costs 2 charge. It costs 2 charges for, let's say you max it, 40% damage resistance for 20 turns. So unless you're fighting like 4 enemies at once, why are you ever casting this? Like, just Lay on Hands. I don't know, like, this subclass is just Lay on Hands. And despite that, I still think it's A tier, because Lay on Hands is just that strong. You're basically healing 25 for 1 cost at instant speed. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's just that OP. So yeah, that's gonna do it for Paladin and for all the subclasses that. Now, do we move anything around here? Do we move anything around? Because I think the A tiers, I do think this belongs here. I just don't know where to put Sniper because I just don't have enough experience with this. I think Priest is stronger than Sniper, but again, I don't know Sniper enough. I think Paladin is also stronger than Sniper. Nah, there's no way. It's so hard because like it's. I feel like these 3 are about equal. In my opinion, Priest is stronger than Paladin. Let's just put it like this, because I don't really know. And I think all of these are in the right place. Like, I do think Warlock is stronger than... is that true? Because I do think that the monk, from Duelist to monk, the power difference is actually quite big. Because I do think monk sucks, like, by itself, without the subclasses. So I do think that monk does provide a bigger power difference than Warlock does, because mage is already quite strong. And then you're just making it even more broken with Warlock. But yeah, I think this is the right ordering. And about this one, I am not sure. I'm not sure about Warden. I think Warden is close to D tier. I think Assassin sits comfortably in C tier, and then Battlemage is like, I'm considering putting it in B tier, but I think it's in C tier, so I think this ordering is good too. And I explained this ordering too. I think the power difference of champion is bigger than Gladiator. So yeah, let's put it like this. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it. This is my final tier list. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, what's your favorite subclass? Just comment in the YouTube comments. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.